All right, so that's Manchester United versus Atletico Madrid at Old Trafford last night. The stories are Manchester United have been knocked out of this year's UEFA Champions League. I'm blinded. Well, the stats don't make for good reading when you consider the fact that 45% that's their win rate, competitions this particular season, and it's the lowest for the club since the 1989-1990 football season.
It's terrible, terrible for Manchester United. But we cannot seem like we're surprised. We've seen it all season. The little here, especially, I think it's really been worse with Ralf Rangnick since he took over the firm. It was terrible with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer at some point, because looking at Manchester United being better, than the way they were, and Carrick had few games, showed glimpses of hope. Then Ralf Rangnick came in, a renowned sporting director, a renowned coach from the Red Bull collections. But come on. It's not been working for him in Manchester United since he came. On the night against Atletico Madrid, terrible performance from my standpoint. So terrible performance from my standpoint. But we have to give credit, first of all, to Atletico Madrid, because we seem to make it seem like it's all about United. Oh, United should have won Atletico Madrid. Atletico side are a great side, and they've been beating English sides away. That's one interesting thing about Diego Simeone's side. I've seen them beat Liverpool. I've seen them beat some of the English sides you could think of in recent times, and playing quite well. Exceptional game of football on the night.
Now, Blighty, you look back at the game, and it's not a game where United didn't have chances. They had chances as well, but converting those chances, particularly in final third, was it's got to be a massive difference for them. And I thought they had a certain Mr. Champions League in their ranks.
Well, on second hand, I think our tone has been a little low, like we're mourning United. But come on, you can't expect Ronaldo to do everything. You can expect Ronaldo to do everything. I looked at the game. They started quite well, attacking, building momentum. But it's not just all about attacking. For me, one player that's not really been working for United when he plays for United in big games has always been McTominay for me. This is the reason from the middle, because you have to be able to play from the middle from your own half. And United cannot do that when McTominay plays. The defender seems to be the one starting play instead of the defensive midfielder starting play, and it's usually difficult. And going forward, they brought in Bruno Fernandes. He didn't really work for me in this particular match. He did a bit he could, running around, but it still didn't work for me. United's problem has been one thing in particular: the inability of the side to play from the middle. They love to pass the ball from the wings and put in those crosses. And when you're playing big sides, they defend resolutely, block the middle, and make it difficult for you to get those crosses to the strikers, especially Ronaldo. It's been difficult. I've been particularly interested and happy with Elanga, the way he's been playing in recent times. Medasop, the likes of Rashford, came in. Disappointing from Sancho's point of view too. But on the average, you can't put it on Ronaldo all the time. We talked about it, and we'll boil down to who wins the game by who concedes a goal. If you concede, it's difficult to come back.
Right, now, the last time United won a trophy was in 2017. That was the Europa League. And they've won just 3 since Alexander Chapman-Ferguson left the club in 2013. They won the FA Cup, won the Louis van Gaal in 2016, won the League Cup, and of course the Europa League under Mourinho in 2017. And ever since then, it's been a trophy drought for them. Now, to break that duck, they must get in a manager who can transmogrify the fortunes of this club. And now 2 names come up readily available: Mauricio Pochettino at PSG. We understand as a top target, and very closely Erik ten Hag at Ajax. And we'll talk about Ajax in a bit. You look at the way they were dumped out at the Johan Cruyff Arena in Netherlands last night. Now, it definitely mirrors the success and, of course, the personality of these 2 managers they're searching for. Erik ten Hag, Mauricio Pochettino, beyond their tactical acumen, let's look at their personalities and put that side by side with where they're coming to. Big club like Manchester United will need things to change very, very quickly. Do they marry the personality? And of course, the stature of the football club, put that side by side with the expectations, from Manchester United and the whole world, for them to get back to winning almost quickly.
Right, James, we begin to mirror it from this angle. What is the current problem of Manchester United? Do they have the players? I think so. They have some good players. Maybe one angle, because every time they say the problem with Manchester United is the defensive midfield.
Yeah, it's Harry Maguire.
And over the years, not just Harry Maguire, defensive midfielder. Yeah. And over the years, they put the pressure on the young Fred for me. He's been a spectacle of disappointment from United's point of view. Let's say he's not worth being a United player. But for me, they're looking at the wrong direction. They do not have a midfielder, an attacking midfielder that knows how to do the job. The attacking midfielders they have are playing personal games for me. They're not committed. Paul Pogba, not playing the best of football. Bruno Fernandes, always leaving the middle for me. No. It's had a terrible year for me. No, but look at it.
Now you're talking offensive now. Do they even have a proper holding midfielder, you know, to stop the threat? Let's look at all of the top sides. Liverpool have got Fabinho, right? They've got Jordan Henderson, could sit and block those threats from reaching Van Dijk and Joe Matip very directly. Chelsea have got a certain N'Golo Kante. They've got, you know, Jorginho. Matthew Kovacic could also come in. Ruben Loftus-Cheek could also come in and do the job. That points to depth, right? Arsenal have got Granit Xhaka. They've got Thomas Partey, and of course they've got the man they brought in, what's his name, Sambi Lokonga, you know, during the transfer window over the summer.
Mention Manchester United.
You go to Spurs, you go to Spurs.
You're going too far.
You go to Spurs, you've got Pierre-Emerick Højbjerg, and of course, you know, you've got Oliver Skip. They sit there. Now they've brought in a man from Juventus. What's his name? Skips me now very quickly. But you head to Manchester United. Who do you have as holding midfielders? That's what they start from. So you're looking at the offensive play, but have you got defensively stable players that can provide proper cover for the defenders?
Okay, let me answer that question this way, technically, Brad James. I saw Matic come into the game against Atletico Madrid. He seemed like the missing piece that we're looking for, someone who could hold the play from a defensive point of view. McTominay, not the best in terms of that direction, but in terms of being a part of that central midfield, he's okay.
Yeah, but he's not holding midfield.
Hold on. Let me finish. That's Fred. We're looking at the numbers. That's Fred in the mix. And you look at the United midfield, it should be good.
Now we're looking at numbers. You talked about something earlier. You talked about something very critically. Well, you must understand that, you know, we don't have all of the leisure of time. You talked about numbers, right? They have the numbers. Going forward, they have players who are busy. But what really are they doing? Are they getting the job done? They're busy. They are there, running around.
That's where I'm going to. So sometimes, while we're looking at a defensive midfield, I know you need a good defensive midfielder to do the block. But look at Casemiro. Casemiro cannot walk in isolation. Listen to me. If Modric is not doing the job from an attacking midfield point of view or the central midfield point of view. And for me, the biggest problem in United right now is not the defensive midfield who tries to get the ball from a defense or block for them. The biggest problem from a United point of view is the central attacking midfield. And the job lies on two folks, which is Pogba and Bruno Fernandes.
But they're not doing the job. Why don't you get a proper defensive midfielder first up? Why don't you get that?
This is the point. Why we're looking for a proper defensive midfielder?
They're not looking.
No, calm down.
They're not looking. They think they've got McTominay, they've got Fred.
They have some quality. The players you've mentioned have some quality. But this is the
problem. They're not holding midfielders.
Calm down, Bright James. Calm down, Bright James.
I think we're out of time.
This is the problem, Bright James. If these folks who are playing from central midfield and attack, who seem to have iconic name, I mentioned Paul Pogba and I mentioned Bruno Fernandes, are doing their jobs, the holding midfielders can do their bit. And you have a good midfield. Right now, the biggest problem of Manchester, I watched a game against Atletico Madrid. They're trying to control proceedings from the defensive point of view, midfield point of view. But attacking point of view, couldn't get the balls to their wingers and their attackers. That has been the biggest problem, and they've not seen it for me. Right. They need a coach. Let me narrow it to this point. They need a coach who will bring character to the team. I watched a game at Atletico Madrid. There was no character from the players. Players were not committed. No 100% from them.
All right. Ajax were dumped out late tonight. Juventus taking the Yellow Submarines. We're talking Villarreal and then elsewhere. It should be Chelsea traveling to Lille. Very quickly, we've got two Premier League clashes for tonight. Liverpool and Arsenal. That's the biggest. The title is on the line for Liverpool, and for Arsenal, it's about a top 4 finish.
Yeah, big game, big game. I think it's a game Liverpool will look at it and think to themselves, we just have to find a way to crunch out win. Yeah. For me, Arsenal seem to be a team in form. Partey, Xhaka, playing quite well. The good combination, strong midfield. It's a game that will be dominated, but maybe, I borrow your word, that fine margin. Yeah. Just that fine margin. I think Liverpool might just get ahead one way or the other.
All right, Juventus, Villarreal, who gets the tickets to the quarterfinals?
Tough game. No need to analyze too much. I think Villarreal will thump Juventus.
All right, so but Chelsea well in the driver's seat and should see of Lille to progress.
Difficult game considering the situation of Chelsea right now. But I think it's a game they have to consolidate that 2-goal win. Find a way, maybe get a draw. even if you have to lose 1-0. But I think Chelsea will go through.
Thank you very much, Blyden, for joining.